Welcome to the HCI family of podcasts. We're your source for personal, professional, and organizational growth and development. We share our own original research, explore industry trends, and interview executives and thought leaders from across the globe. Join us for practitioner-oriented content around all things leadership, HR, talent management, organizational development, and change management. Maximize your personal and organizational potential with the HCI family of podcasts.
Recognizing and protecting yourself from manipulators at work. No workplace is entirely free from politics, harmful behaviors, and unethical leaders. While unpleasant to acknowledge, manipulative individuals exist in every industry and environment. Their intentions range from merely looking out for themselves to actively exploiting others for personal gain. As a leader or team member, recognizing manipulation tactics early helps safeguard your own well-being and effectiveness. Today, we will explore research-backed insights into identifying common manipulator strategies, then offers practical guidance for countering their influence through assertiveness, self-awareness, and trust-building with coworkers. What is workplace manipulation? Before discussing specific techniques, it is important to define manipulation itself. At its core, workplace manipulation involves covertly influencing others through deceitful or unethical means for one's own benefit. Tejada et al. 2001. The manipulator's goal is power, control, or resources, often at the expense of morale, fairness, or relationships. While subtle persuasion has its place, true manipulation disregards consent and the well-being of others. Its hallmarks include dishonesty, selfish motives, exploitation of vulnerabilities, and erosion of trust over time. Ferris et al. 2007. Kiazad et al. 2010. Common manipulation tactics. Divide and conquer. One effective manipulation strategy is sowing division between colleagues to weaken any united front against one's agenda. This happens through subtle favoritism, private criticism of some team members to others, selective sharing of sensitive information, and exaggerated claims of unfair treatment. Ferris et al. 2008. By turning peers against each other, a manipulator isolates potential allies and facing less resistance for their own objectives. Deception through omission, rather than outright lying, manipulators frequently withhold or spin key facts to mislead without technically being dishonest. Tedeschi and Melberg, 1984. They may imply consequences or support that do not truly exist, stay vague about deadlines, or only share partial truths that support a biased perspective rather than the full picture. By omitting inconvenient details, manipulators steer perceptions and decisions their way through implied untruths. Exploiting emotions. Another common manipulation tactic preys on emotions, like fear, guilt, or insecurity, to elicit compliance or control the narrative. A manipulator stirs anxiety about job stability, fosters doubt in one's competence, or makes colleagues second-guess neutral decisions as somehow proving loyalty. Ferris et al. 2007. Kiazad et al. 2010. They paint themselves as the sole solution to easing these negative feelings, whether or not the emotions were legitimately warranted. Feigned helplessness. Some manipulators cultivate an image of helplessness to deflect responsibility or pawn off work onto others. They continuously request assistance for tasks within their capacity while avoiding empowering peers. At the same time, any actual help received goes unappreciated, and volunteers face subtle retaliation should they stop enabling the manipulator's false needs. Tejada et al. 2001. This drains colleagues' goodwill over time through one-sided giving. Heading off manipulation at work. With an understanding of common manipulation tactics, proactive steps can counter their effectiveness and preserve workplace health. Below are research-backed recommendations for leaders and teams. Build trust through transparency. One of the best defenses is cultivating an environment where people feel comfortable bringing concerns into the open. Ferris et al. 2007, Kiazad et al. 2010. Leaders model transparency by clearly explaining priorities and decisions. Teams establish psychological safety to surface potential manipulation early rather than enabling toxic behaviors to fester in secret. Manage self-doubt and emotions. Manipulators prey on insecurities, so maintaining perspective and confidence matters. Take breaks when upset, then revisit tensions calmly with an advocate. Prioritizing facts over fears helps avoid rash compliance or forming alliances against colleagues out of temporarily stirred emotions. Tedeschi and Melberg, 1984. Foster independent thinking rather than automatically agreeing with critiques of peers. Solicit diverse viewpoints to evaluate information comprehensively. Be wary of selective data presented to turn one against another, or steer decisions a manipulator's way through implied consensus. Ferris et al. 2008. Independent research and opinions promote balanced perspectives. Appreciate support and set boundaries. Do not enable manipulative helplessness by indulging unreasonable demands or one-sided volunteerism. Thank genuine supporters clearly to discourage future exploitation. At the same time, set polite but firm limits when involvement goes beyond healthy professional boundaries. Tejeda et al. 2001. Address issues promptly with facts. If manipulation seems underway, discuss observations respectfully with the individual first and document specifics factually. Escalate judiciously with evidence-based appeals to relevant workplace policies or leadership rather than personal attacks. Prioritize fact-finding over volatile emotions throughout. Ferris et al. 2008. Case example: retail management. Consider a retail store manager, Andre, known for sewing division. During projects, she whispers criticisms about Sarah's slow work to speed up Mark, insinuating he must cover for Sarah's flaws. Meanwhile, she tells Sarah that Mark gossips about her breaks as too long and wants her off the team, knowing this will damage their rapport and teamwork against Andre's directives. By addressing tensions professionally with facts, Sarah and Mark rebuild trust and jointly approach HR with evidence of Andre's counterproductive manipulation techniques. With organizational support, clear policies, and an established culture where concerns are addressed constructively rather than enabled in secret, Andrea faces appropriate consequences, while unity and morale improve across the store's operations. Conclusion: in any industry or role, some individuals will attempt to advance through manipulation rather than merit or cooperation. However, teams and leaders equipped with research-based knowledge can identify such tactics, foster psychologically safe workplaces, and shut down rather than enable unethical influences over time. With proactive steps like transparency, independent thinking, emotional intelligence, and fact-based problem-solving, organizations can curb the damages of workplace manipulation while promoting integrity, fairness, and collaboration instead. Overall well-being and results will follow when unhealthy personal agendas no longer undermine cohesion or erode trust between colleagues.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the podcast. We hope you stay healthy and safe, and please join us again soon.